Hey YouTube,
Thank
it's
you for watching the
DC.
video.
Today is
If you like
July
the content,
1st.
please comment,
Let's
like,
take a
and
look at
subscribe.
MSTY
Until
and
next time.
review its upcoming distribution, and I'll give you a prediction of what I think it's going to be. So first, we could look at the historical distributions. It's already done. For June, it was $1.47. May, $2.37. April, $1.33. March, $1.37. You can kind of see that the distributions have been kind of low. If we look back at November, October, December last year, we could see that the distributions were in the $3 to $4 range. I think the IV on MSTR and MSTY have kind of been low the last couple months, and that's not great for option sellers. That's not good for selling premium because the premium is going to be lower and you're going to be able to collect less money. So these distributions have been a little bit small, but if we take a look at what's going on in October, November, December of 2024, you're going to see that Bitcoin had a huge run and MSTR had a huge run as well. So I don't think we should be expecting a huge dividend for this month, especially because Bitcoin's kind of been chopping around the 100K to 108K range. And MSTR has just kind of been following suit and kind of consolidating in a range. So just keep in mind that the last few dividends, aside from last month, have kind of been in the $1.40 range pretty consistently. If we go to dripcalc.com, they're kind of estimating 73 cents to $1.05. I don't really follow these websites too much, but I do kind of take a look. They're usually a little bit off, but they're pretty close to what the distribution's actually going to be. Rod, Retire on Dividends, he does like a weekly analysis of all the yield max payers, and I think last time I saw he was looking at the positions, he was defaulting to the IV. So he was kind of estimating that the payout would be about 70 cents or so, I think. My personal thoughts on it, I think that they're going to try to stick within this dollar minimum range, $1 to $1.40. I think that they are going to use some of the earnings from previous distributions to kind of keep the monthly dividend, consistent throughout the year. And we'll kind of get to see if they continue that plan going forward or not in this month and the next month if we're performing in a similar way. I do think that volatility is kind of coming back with, yesterday and today's action. We saw like a huge rejection from Bitcoin at 108K, $3,000 down. And then if you take a look at the daily chart on MSTR, you're going to see it had a pretty big range. So, given all that, I think $1 to $1.40 is going to be my estimate of what it is. I have quite a few shares. I have about 1,200 shares on one account, 500 shares on another, and a few more. So if we do, say I have 2,000 average shares multiplied by $1.40, the last payout range that we are kind of talking about, that's kind of $2,800 a month, which is a lot. I'm not going to complain about that kind of distribution for myself. And I'm happy as long as MSTY's NAV stays stable around this $18 to $22 range. If they're able to consistently pay out, anywhere above $1, I think is great. We're gonna have some months where the IV's low and there's not a lot of action. We're not gonna get a lot from selling premium, but then there's gonna be months where we have a massive move higher or lower once we're through with this consolidation, and that's kind of where you're gonna see these premiums and the distribution really come back strong. And I think the expectations for MSTY are a little bit high because since inception, they paid out some big dividends here, $4, $2, $3, $2. But I think for this to be sustainable in the long run without a huge impact on the NAV, that, paying out a little bit lower distribution, keeping some of that money to continue to invest or saving it for future distributions just to keep everything consistent, I think is a pretty good action plan. So let me know what your thoughts on it. We're going to get the announcement tomorrow at 7 or 8 a.m. Eastern. So I'm really looking forward to seeing it. Let me know what you think about the MSTY distribution and if you want to talk about anything going forward in future videos. Thank you for watching the video. If you like the content, please comment, like, and subscribe. Until next time.